Hi there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back. My name is Angela. I am a home gardener growing in my Zone 6 garden, southwestern Ohio in the US, and it is seed starting time. I do have a tiny little greenhouse that I am going to go out and grab from our shed, bring it back in the house, show you guys how I do my setup for starting seeds. If that sounds interesting, stick around. I thought I heard a deer or something back there, so I was kind of checking that out. I'm going to flip you around. Okay, we have this nice little shed here, and I keep all of my seed starting stuff in there. We do keep it locked, so I had to grab the key. And it's pretty dark in here. There's no electricity here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to move a bunch of stuff. So I've got a tiny little greenhouse there in the corner. It's one of those little kind of temporary where you put it together, a plastic frame and then a light plastic covering. And then my grow light setup is right next to that. But to get to that, I'm gonna move this cart out of the way. So I'm gonna set you guys up, get going on this, and I'll catch back up with you. All right, now I got to get it to the house, and every time I think that we have this like shed situation under control, stuff finds its way here and it becomes like a total wreck again. So I think that this spring will be a good time to reorganize, clean it up a little bit. It's a great shed though. We've had this since 2019, somewhere around there, and now I'm wondering how did we get by without it. It's so great. So I've got this out of the shed now. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you a little bit more about this greenhouse. I've had it for a few years, and what kind of led me to get this little greenhouse was years ago a good coworker of mine had one that he wasn't using, and he just gave it to me. So I used that for a few years until it finally like broke down. I used it so much. I was so thankful for that. But I did go ahead and replace it. I found one just like it on Amazon and went ahead and bought my own, a second one, with the first one having kind of worn out from use. And it's pretty reasonable. I'll link to that below in case you're interested in that. I'm going to flip you around and kind of show you the little greenhouse in detail. I love this thing. Okay, so here it is. And as far as height, it's roughly about the same height as I am, maybe an inch or two either way. I'm 5'6", by the way, just to give you an idea of size. And it's probably 3 feet wide, a couple feet deep. It's small. And I set it up in my laundry room. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves. And the front flap zips. It has 2 zippers. And yeah, that's just it. It's really nice. It doesn't take up a lot of space, which is nice. You can see my heat mats down there at the bottom. I do use heat mats on pretty much everything that I start from seed because it really speeds up the germination process. So I'm going to zip these back to make it a little more stable carrying it into the house. So I have this nice little laundry room here at the back of the house. We have like a little chest freezer here and our washer and dryer over here. It has a decent sized window there, but the window that I need for my seeds is this one here at the door. So to the left there is east, so, and then south is facing that way. So this is the perfect exposure for seeds once they come up, and to get the heat in the greenhouse. So I just set it up right there, you know, in front of the door. We're kind of overstuffed with food and supplies and things back here, so I'll just have to, you know, squeeze it in this year, maybe shuffle some things around. Farley wants to say hello. Anyway, this is where it is, and it does get enough light just from that one window there to heat it up enough to sprout the seeds. So I'm lucky to have this space. It does mean that door is hard to access for the next couple months. This door will be like not much usable for us. Of course, we could easily move this out of the way if we had to use that door for an emergency, but yeah, it works. And a couple things to note about this particular style of greenhouse in case you're thinking of getting one, or you have one and you haven't tried this yet. You could find it very helpful. So where these connect, like each down the side frames, they kind of just snap into each other there at these connector points, and they don't really stay put. And if you're moving the greenhouse around, it comes apart really, really easily and quickly when you're trying to handle it or move it. It was kind of a real pain in the butt. So it took us a couple years to figure out that, hey, we could just glue these together. Where there are, I don't know how well that's showing up, but where there are connector points, we just glued those right in place. And then same deal with these wire shelves. They would slide all around anytime I carried it, so we just zip tied that to this bar here, and that has made the difference in being able to transport this little greenhouse. It's pretty easy now, and it's very lightweight. As you saw, I could pretty easily lift it. And I'm going to run back out to the shed, grab the seed trays and the little the cell packs to get those cleaning. I don't sanitize my seed starting gear every year. I might sanitize it maybe every 3 years. I know best practice is probably to sanitize it every year. I know myself well enough to know that I will not do that. So I do good just to kind of rinse it, get it soaking in some soapy water, and I'll do that in the bathtub. Let them soak for a little while, rinse them off, let them kind of drip dry, and at least they're clean if not sanitized. So if you want to walk back out to the shed with me, here we go. We're having a pretty nice day today. It's 37 Fahrenheit, which I think is maybe around 3 degrees Celsius, something like that. Yeah. Oh, and also I lost a couple of the heat mats. They fell off the bottom shelf there as I was transporting, so I will grab those at some point during this whole process. Birds are very active today. I love hearing their little noises. And if you've been following my channel for a while, then You may recall that I am not doing a big veggie garden this year, but I am going to do some things. I can't imagine not doing a veggie garden at all, but I'm thinking, like, I've got a ton of these trays. I don't think that's showing up very well. I'll show you here in just a minute. All right, I've kind of gathered up all of my supplies here. This is way more than I will probably use this year, although in most years I use pretty much all of this stuff. These are some hard shell, like the under tray that the little seed cell packs sit in, and then the different cell pack configurations there. These here I got a couple of years ago. They're bigger. They have bigger little compartments, and I love those. It enables me to, in some cases, keep the seedlings in there until it's time to transplant out. There's that much more space in there for growing while they're sitting in the house. But yeah, I'm going to haul all this in, and I'll catch back up with you. So made it back in. It took me a couple of trips. All that stuff is heavy when you add it all up, but I'm going to turn you around, show you everything I brought in, and I think I'm only going to kind of clean what I need as I use it. So for this first go round, I'm just going to be doing celery, leeks, onions, and rosemary, and not too many of any of those things except for the onions, because in my experience onion seeds do not have a long viability. So I've got some that were, the package is from 2023, so I want to go ahead and just sow all of those, just get those planted up. And you know, I don't only need a couple celery plants because I don't eat that much celery. Like, I'll cook with celery sometimes, I'll throw it in a soup or a stew, but I won't go through very much of it. Same with rosemary. And the leeks, I'm not sure yet. I might just overseed, and then whatever I use, whatever I don't. Either way, I'm going to flip you around, show you all this gear. So I've got some of the hard trays here, the little cell packs. I grabbed my heat mats, which had fallen on the ground, and then some more of these over trays, and then these are kind of sturdy, like rigid little cells there. It's hard to get my camera to focus where I want it to. Okay, so there. And these are the ones that I was showing you outside that are bigger. They're like the surface area, like the opening is bigger around, and then they're also deeper, and you can keep seedlings in there for quite a while, a lot longer than these tiny little ones here, than the standard ones. So as I've needed to replace things, I'm getting these larger ones. And then I've got my lids here. I like these tall dome lids here. So I upgrade as I go. As I need to replace things, I try to upgrade. I mean, I'll use what I have for as long as I possibly can before it just totally falls apart, because who wants to be spending more money, right? Same with my heat mats. I got 3 of them. These are, at least 2 of them are the brand Vivo Sun, and those have done really well for me. If I can remember, I will link to those below too. But I'm going to haul all of this back to the greenhouse. Actually, no, I'm going to pull out what I'm going to need for this first round of sowing, get it soaking in the tub, and then figure out from there. Maybe whatever I'm not using right away, I'll kind of stash in that bottom little layer of the greenhouse, because I won't be, I never use that bottom layer for germinating, because it's so far down at the bottom. I mean, it'll get hot enough to germinate seeds in there, but they don't get any light at all that far down once they pop up. And I do try to make it a practice of, once they pop up out of the soil, to get them under grow lights as almost right away, as soon as I can. So I have a feeling, like today is Monday, February 10th. I have a feeling this weekend I'm going to be setting up the grow lights, because who knows, or maybe if I don't get around to sowing till this weekend, it buys me a little bit of time before I have to set up the grow lights. I'm rambling. I'm going to take care of all this stuff and I'll catch back up with you. Okay, I think I've got everything sorted out now. I'm going to show you what I've pulled out to start seeding with this weekend, and kind of how I've arranged the greenhouse now that I know kind of what's going on. So I've got these 2 trays here, 1 and 2, and these each have these 72 cell, like kind of a hard shell. I'm trying to get this camera lens to go where I need it to go, but it's an all-in-one with 72 cells, and it's hard, so it's durable. It won't probably ever need replacing unless something weird happens. But I've got 2 of those. Those are going to be onions, and then this tray here, which has 6 of these. So that's what, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 36 cells here, but they are the larger size. So what I'm going to do there, I won't fill up all of these, this top one here, because I'm not doing that many celery or rosemary or leek plants. But I went ahead, I want to get them cleaned for now, just so that they'll be ready when the next seeds go in, probably the following weekend. But yeah, so for the greenhouse here, I kind of use these 2 shelves at the bottom just for storing supplies, extra trays, the dome lids, things like that. And then the top 2, I've got my heat mats on that I'll put the actual seeds that I'm trying to, the trays with the seeds that I'm trying to germinate. And what I found was I can usually get at least 2, I think I'm able to even squeeze in 3 of those long trays, running them long ways, like 3 in a row here. I'm pretty sure I've been able to do that, but it's funny how you forget things once you are removed from it for a year. But yeah. So I'm gonna get these cell packs and seed trays soaking. And I feel like, while it's not a sanitization, just soaking them in hot soapy water has to be, can't do any harm. May not be as good as using bleach. I just don't want to mess around with the bleach in the bathtub and all that. Like, I just dread working with those chemicals, like in a large scale, like filling the bathtub with bleach water. It's like I can just see an accident happening, or like ruining my clothes or something like that. Now, if I had had a bad year with damping off or fungus issues with seeds the following year, then I probably would have sanitized the cell trays, the seed trays at the end of the growing season, just knowing that I have that issue going on. But I don't think I had anything like that last year, so I feel like a good cleaning will probably suffice. I'd love to know what your practice is. Do you clean and sanitize your seed starting gear every year? Some years never at all. If you do, what do you use? Do you use bleach, peroxide, alcohol, hot soapy water? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. I think I'm going to wrap it up for now. I've rambled on for quite a while now. I just wanted to show you guys my little setup. And of course, I'll check back in with you once I start sowing. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.